Today is some pretty heavy Kabbalah here. And for those that are not into it and, don't really know these things, shut it off. This is not a chat. Just a depiction of some deep levels. Yesterday I was talking to somebody about love at first sight and the quintessent relationship and manifestation of love at first sight is between Yitzhak and Rivka, between Isaac and Rebecca. And so I want to do some gematriot and to show how this relationship is really deep and how it comes from the beginning of time, so to speak. First I did the gematria of Yitzhak. The normative gematria of Yitzhak comes out to be 208. And then for some reason this morning, I don't know if I did this first or after, I did a shalem vehetzi. That means a whole and a half. The best way to express anything, the ultimate way to express something, is with a whole and a half. You see, it's 3 halves, which is expressed here in other ways. So it's you as a whole and a half. In a certain sense, that's like what a woman is. She's whole, and if she gets a man, then she has another half. But that's another story here. Shalem vehetzi, whole and a half. So I took the 208, and I took half of that, and that's 312. So it's 104, that's 312. 312, and then I looked back, I said, I know it's 312. I just did that with something maybe yesterday. I did the gematria of Kayin. Kuf Yud Nun in full. That means a kuf would be kuf vav pei. A yud vav dalet. A nun vav nun. And that comes out to be 312. So the full expression of Kayin is a shalem vehetzi, a whole and a half, of Yitzhak. That means they're related. And when you think of it, it's not that strange, because Yitzhak comes from Gevurah. Avraham comes from Hesed. Yitzhak comes from Gevurah. And Kayin comes from the left side, the Gevurah side. So it's not that strange. But here we have, how could it be now with the relationship to Rivka, which is the ultimate relationship? This Rivka, then I did the gematria for Rivka. Resh, Bet, Kuf, Hey. I did the relationship for Rivka, and it came out to, the regular gematria is 307, plus 4 letters. It's 311, it comes in some stuff later. Plus 1 for the whole word, it's 312. So, a shalem vehetzi of Yitzhak is Rivka. So it's a perfect match. But this now also relates to another thing that is very important in the world of Yitzhak. Yitzhak at the Akedah was substituted, instead of his dying, substituted by an Ayil. This Aiel they say was actually Hevel. Hevel substituted for Yitzhak, which in a certain sense means that Hevel was a substitution for Cain, since I equated Yitzhak with Cain. So what's the gematria of Aiel? The full gematria of Aiel is Aleph, Yud, Lamed. Comes out to be 205, which happens to be the month of Adar, which we're in now, in this miraculous Adar Rishon. But if I add three letters, the three letters, three full letters of Aiel, I get 208. That 208 is Yitzhak. So there's a parallel between Yitzhak and the Aiel. Now I increase that back up to the 312, and because I want to know this now about Rivka, who's also 312 with Yitzhak. And now I'm thinking that Rivka was one of the twins of either Cain, his regular twin, but I doubt it, or the other twin of Hevel. And that's why it's love at first sight. Rivka and Yitzhak. Yitzhak is, in my opinion now, Cain, and Rivka is the other twin of Hevel, which the entire opus of the world started in. And why supposedly murder came. The other twin of Hevel was Rivka. And that's why it was love at first sight between Yitzhak and Hevel, and Rivka and Yitzhak, because they knew each other from the beginning of time. They just recognized each other. They're just playing out the strings. So that's pretty deep right there. And instead of doing more now, I'm going to cut this here because that was beautiful and I couldn't have said any better. You know, there's a lot here now with the gematrias of 311, 312, 315, Rivka, as 307 plus 4 letters is 311. That's Raphael. It's 311 is Shevet, but it's also something else. But the point is that Rivka is really the twin of Hevel, that Cain killed Hevel over in Gan Eden. And so they recognized themselves. And it was love at first sight.